It is time to reawaken this industrial giant, to get government back within its means, and to lighten our punitive tax burden. And these will be our first priorities, and on these principles there will be no compromise.
I can hear you! I can hear you! The rest of the world hears you! And the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us.
Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hello. Well, that was weird, Saints and Patriots. Microphone number 1 doesn't want to work. Oh, I got to see what's up with that. What's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas Liberty. I hope I don't have to hold this microphone number 2, for the entire program. I got to figure out what's going on here. Well, it's a thank you, Jesus. It's Friday. Missed you guys. We've been having some technical upgrades over here at the RER HQ studio. Had nothing to do with it. Comcast has decided that they are going to upgrade services over here, or so they say. They're supposed to be installing fiber network. No, not Metamucil. Fiber network, which would be fantastic. Need to upgrade to fiber. But I don't know if I want to give even more money to Comcast. Today's program is going to be full. I still did not achieve my goal. I wanted to match Fox's outnumbered program, where there's 4 women and one man. The hashtag would not be one lucky guy, 4 lucky women. Couldn't get it done today because Angela can't make her spot. She's tutoring some student that probably really needs it. Believe it or not, Angela is a trained educator. I know, it's scary to think about, but it's true. But the hot ticket is going to be here. Tina Moody Bryan. Sassy Alice Linehan's going to be here. And the wonderful Tracy Shannon, who keeps a watchful eye on the neo-morality movement, is going to be with me today too. So there's only 3 women instead of 4, but one day I am going to achieve it. One of these Fridays, I'm actually going to achieve it. So today's program is going to be a little bit different as far as the clock is concerned. Tracy's time is very valuable. You know, she's got all those little kiddos that she has to cart around, chauffeur around. So she has some children obligations. So we're going to get Tracy in early in a few minutes. Sunday is a very important day for anybody associated with Raging Elephants Radio, a fan of Raging Elephants Radio. Why? Sunday is September the 9th, 9th month, 9th day, and the 5th birthday, the 5th anniversary of your Texas network, the rebellious voice of Texas Liberty. And let me tell you, folks, it hasn't been easy. Oh, as an aside, it's my birthday, too. And back in 2013, when we first started streaming at 10 a.m., with my voice going on first, schedule then ultimately changed to what it is. But everybody figured, Claver, you're the founder of the company, president and CEO. Your voice should be the first to be heard. And it's your birthday on top of that, 5 years ago. And as we all know, it is commonly said that 5 years is rough. Most businesses fail in the first 5 years. 5 years, first year, then 5 years, then 10 years, are the goals that you are trying to match in order to survive and be successful when it comes to free market enterprise. So on Sunday, Raging Elephants Radio, 5 years. I'm not going to tell you how old I am on Sunday, but it hasn't been easy. It's been a struggle. You guys have witnessed the turmoil, the challenges that we've had to go through here at Raging Elephants Radio. But the good news is that we're still here. We're still alive. And as of right now, come Sunday, we should still be in business. Business could be better, but we are in business, and that is a positive development. That's something good, something to be celebrated, something to be thankful for. And we thank each and every one of you that have made Raging Elephants Radio a reality. All the RER team members, Team RER, Holly and Gloria and Doc and now H. Scott Apley, and those that came previously, George and Heidi and Dale and Mary and all the contributors that we have right now. Everybody has a part in making Raging Elephants Radio what it is. But we have a long way to go to fulfill the vision that I believe God has given me for this company. And for me, it's an opportunity to really create a legacy that no matter how many more days I have left on this earth, if I can make this company strong through the grace of God, through His favor, through His leadership, through His instruction, then I have a legacy that I can leave behind, something that will continue to be a voice for liberty, for Texans. A voice, if it's not achieved by the time I take my last breath, a voice that will continue to advocate for the independence of Texas, to be an independent republic once again, to let saints and patriots know all over the state of Texas what's going on in Texas. That's the vision of Raging Elephants Radio. And it's a broad vision. It's to expand to more divisions, more departments, more coverage, and more subject matters than just Texas politics, the Pink Dome, and the various municipalities in this great piece of real estate known as Texas. But we're going to get it done. Raging Elephants Radio is going to continue to grow, continue to expand. We are going to prosper. We're not going anywhere. 5 years it's been now, well, come Sunday. And I hope you'll stick with Raging Elephants Radio. I hope you continue to be a Raging Elephants Radio evangelist, telling everyone to download the Raging Elephants Radio app, challenging them to the 2+2 challenge. Listen to Raging Elephants Radio 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics than you'll ever know. All right, let's take this first quick break. Today's clock is going to be a little bit different for the program. On deck right now is Tracy Shannon, and we'll be with Tracy after this short break. Don't go anywhere. And I'm going to try to figure out what's wrong with mic number 1. Check out the live video stream. Go to RagingElephantsRadio.com. Look in the right column. Click on our YouTube channel button right there, and you will be live with me seeing how beautiful my face is and the whole 9 yards. Raging Elephants Radio. What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Need to book a flight? Check out CheapoAir.com. CheapoAir offers you the fastest way to compare and book on over 450 flights worldwide. In fact, with CheapoAir, you can travel out and back on 2 different airlines to get a better deal on flights to more than 2,000 destinations across the globe. You can even look at alternate dates and airports to see if their low fares can get any lower. Plus, CheapoAir gives you the freedom to change your travel plans within 24 hours of booking. If something comes up, just give them a call. They'll take it from there. CheapoAir makes it easy to save. Search their site, select your flight, and book, just like that. Your next trip is just a phone call, app search, or website visit away. Plus, with CheapoAir, you can book with confidence. Because with CheapoAir's best price guarantee, you know you're getting their very best deal every time. Thinking flights? Think CheapoAir.
Visit CheapOair through the RER Marketplace.
TV and radio are great mediums for mass instruction, but for those times when you just want to hold something in your hands, there is the Damn Good Times. I still love the newspaper, but I'm tired of the liberal bias. That's why I reach for the Damn Good Times. Always full of interesting stories and great information, and you can have it delivered to your doorstep by calling 281-332-5710 or sending an email to news@thedamngoodtimes.com. Just $50 a year will get a full subscription. It's a great gift for all the patriots you know. Do it now.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Welcome back, Saints and Patriots. Hope you can hear me. Hope you can hear me here. Trying to get the second microphone up and running. Okay, that's a whole lot better. Great. Today's program is kind of strange, but I got Tracy Shannon on right now. Tracy watches the neo-morality movement for us. Hey, Tracy. Happy Friday to you.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I'm glad you're able to make it on. I was having microphone problems, but I got it straightened out. All kind of technical issues this week, but we've made it. 5 years on Sunday will be Raging Elephants Radio's anniversary, and you've been
Congratulations.
Thanks. You've been with us for a few years. Thanks a lot. Okay, we don't have a lot of time today, Tracy, because you've got kiddos that you have to chauffeur around, and
right.
But the story that I want you to talk about, report for us today, is now it's moved from the classroom and school halls and public libraries to literally the doctor's office and pediatricians, I suppose, where they are asking children about their sexual orientation or their gender identity. Unbelievable, Tracy. Totally unbelievable. Give me an idea of what's going on with these doctors out here. Tracy Shannon.
So just the other day, there was a post that came up in my Facebook timeline, And I really just didn't believe it could be true. Because like another mom posted it, and she said that she, that she took her kid to the doctor, and they asked her daughter, does she does she feel like a boy or a girl? And I thought, well, maybe someone's just pulling, our leg here. It may not be true. I didn't do any inquiry into that, and it was a screenshot anyway, so I couldn't just link to that lady and ask her. And I'll have to follow back up on that and see if that's a true story or not. I was thinking, not a true story. It's a nothing burger right now. I was wrong. This is really happening, and there's a study release. Let me pull that up. Yep. So now, people have been saying medical experts are encouraging doctors to ask adolescents and teenagers about their gender identity during office visits, and there's a study authored by Dr. Carly Gus of Boston's Children's Hospital that was in Reuters this week. And the doctor's quoted as saying this: asking all patients their gender identity and pronouns creates a gender-affirming environment. Okay. No, it creates an environment of sowing seeds of confusion into the child. So they say that,
and depravity and perverted behavior and the whole 9 yards.
I mean, when you look at everything that this leads to in a person's life, you're just setting a kid up for destruction if you lead them down that path. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. But, if I took my kid in there, and they asked that'd be the last time we went to that doctor. Plus, we'd be making a complaint. But so this is what's now being pushed, a new avenue to push this, because they want to cultivate more transgenders. And it's, interesting. I want to mention this about Boston Children's Hospital. That is the first the first hospital that ever offered a program to treat and focus on transgender in children, and that started in 2007. So of course, this doctor from their hospital is pushing this. Like I said, they want to cultivate more transgender children so they can. This is a cottage industry for them, right? They're making money. It's a niche market, so there's a lot of money in this. And I was looking into the people in the department, and I didn't get a whole lot of time, but it looks like one of their social workers for gender surgery is a big-time activist, and possibly, by the looks of that individual,
They've had surgery.
Yeah, himself. I don't know.
They've had surgery is what it looks like.
Has transitioned. In other words, so yeah. But yes, ask the children coming in the doctor's office what their preferred pronouns are, to create a gender affirming environment. That's what they say needs to be done.
Doesn't this set up some sort of? This is going to set up some sort of conflict between the American Medical Association, I'm thinking, and the American Society of Psychiatry, or whatever the name of the organization is, because the psychiatrists have specifically said that introducing children to this type of indoctrination is damaging, that it's not good for them psychologically, it's not good for them when it comes to their mental health. I think we've discussed that before, how as far as the psychiatrists and the psychologists are concerned, many of them are opting away from the neo-morality movement and looking at the mental damage that it does, psychological damage, and they're poo-pooing it. They're making statements against such actions, but here you have the doctors, which is a whole nother aspect of human care, saying, oh, we need to push this agenda. This is dangerous, Tracy.
Well, the agenda is being pushed in the psychiatric field, in the psychological field, as well as in the medical field. And it really started in the medical field with endocrinologists. This became another way for endocrinologists to make money. And some of the originators of transition were themselves endocrinologists. So that's where that comes. But there is splintering. There is difference of opinion. I mean, what's the organization? American College of Pediatrics cause this manipulative tactics and promoting transgender propaganda. So they are against it. But then, others in the medical field are for pushing it. And that's because they are being trained from above. I mean, there are high level positions in the medical field, psychological field, and also in the academic fields where that are filled with people who are what you would call gender ideologues, and they're promoting this. And if you disagree, then you're going to be censored, or you're going to be pushed out. Your study's going to be suppressed, and you may even lose your job. So that's the kind of the pressure that's going on there. But of course, it's not medicine and it's not scientific. What they're doing, it's not science, it's not medicine. It's indoctrination. It is an endangering youth, is what it is. And it's sowing the seeds of confusion and immorality in young children who are very impressionable. I mean, most kids aren't questioning their gender, but if you ask them, maybe they will. And that seems to be the goal here. So,
Tracy, one last story before I let you go, because our time is short today. But I do want to go to this Brown University study that they are trying to quash because of speaking of peer pressure and political pressure. And this particular study shows that I think what you're going to report to us is that the advancement of the neo-morality movement is primarily driven politically. Tell us about this study and how academia, namely Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, is being cowardice about their very own study.
All right. Their very young researcher did a study showing that peer pressure influences children. We've already known this. This isn't a surprise, but this is a study confirming what we already knew, that children are influenced by their peers. So why wouldn't they be influenced when a peer, one or more of their friends in their social group, comes out as being transgender? So this study shows that is the case. And so I was going to read you something from that story, but yeah, there were lots of parents reporting that their children are experiencing what they call rapid onset gender dysphoria, appearing for the first time ever during puberty and or even after puberty. And the onset of gender dysphoria seemed to occur in the context of belonging to a peer group where one or more of the friends had become gender dysphoric and identified as transgender during that time frame. The parents reported their children exhibited an increase in social media and internet use prior to disclosing becoming transgender. So the purpose of the study was to document and explore the observations that were described and the resulting presentation of gender dysphoria, which is inconsistent with the existing research literature. The existing research and to be defined as transgender and get all their treatment, you were supposed to be identifying as or feeling like and having these confusions from very early on. And now there's people are having rapid onset gender dysphoria where they never reported having any feelings of being confused. It's until they had friends who were confused. So that's why they call it rapid onset. And we know this. This is the goal. We're going to cultivate this in the schools. We're going to cultivate this now in the doctor's office and out in the of course, online. I mean, that is just a minefield. So that's what this study concluded. But when it was being before it was the information was released, they put a tweet about it on their webpage, on their Twitter, and they announcing this study. But then they took that down after transgender activists complained about it. And so they're suppressing their own researchers' study, but the internet is forever, so the tweet is out there. And it's just really unbelievable that the university would suppress their actual own researchers' work. And this is a good study that parents need to be aware of, I think, and it validates that we need to be careful what our kids are seeing and hearing because it can lead them into a not a good place in their lives. And we need to also be careful about who their friends are and teach them to choose friends wisely because, you kind of end up taking on some of those character traits and problems that your friends have. And we don't want that to happen to our kids. But, yeah, this is a really bad development. They decided not to go through with the press release, but we do know that this study exists.
Okay, now Shannon, just one last thing. This last story to me underscores something that dawned on me. Maybe we discussed this before, but when it comes to science, they will take the evidence of science in certain situations, and in other situations they will discard or dismiss what science provides if it's against their arguments. Let's just take two examples. When it comes to quote-unquote climate change, science has settled it. Climatology, meteorology has settled it. Therefore, whatever powers government wants to use in order to combat this danger to humanity, science has settled it. Even Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, when he stood before Congress, he put it in their face after Donald Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord. Well, Macron gets up there and says, we believe in science. Science has settled it. There's climate change. In the next 5 years, Pikes Peak is going to be underwater. But when it comes to biology, science is being completely discorded. When it comes to microbiology, when it comes to DNA science, it's being completely dismissed. And I guess biology, which has been settled for thousands of years, even before the science of biology was created, I guess now it's some sort of it's snake oil. It's fictitious. Science, when it comes to the expansion of government, accept it. Science, when it comes to anti-neo-morality dogma, reject it. Your final words on this, Tracy. I'll let you go play with your kiddos.
That's true. They want to, I call it being blinded by science. They throw out these studies that are not true, or models, which a model is not science. A model of weather, predicting weather and forecasting climate change. It's only a model. It's not science. That's a model. It's like making a prediction. Oh, we're going to be underwater in 5 years. Well, it never happens. That's not actually science. And but yeah, they want to just ignore facts like DNA. So are we so ready to ignore DNA that we don't even need to look at them for the use of rape kits and solving crimes? Is DNA, is it not proven science? Because DNA does show if you're male or female, but we're just going to ignore that to advance whatever the neo-morality crowd wants to advance. And the liberals want to advance their climate change fears and doctrine, but that's not science. It's like they're just confusing science with their political ideology, and they want to make it sound scientific and say that they have something that backs it when it's not really sound science. So they're just blinding people with so-called science,
it's not
in quotation
science at all.
marks.
They're completely discounting science. They're dismissing science. I mean,
it's voodoo. It's voodoo. It's not science. They're just making stuff up and calling and saying it's facts when it's not, and talking down to everyone and calling everyone else uneducated when and they also say that consensus makes something a fact, and that's not what determines if something's true or not, consensus. But yeah, they just don't want to accept truth. They're in the industry of spreading untruth.
Tracy, you're awesome. I held you 4 minutes over. I hope your kids will forgive me and forgive you. Because
I'll make it. I'm going to make it just in time. Thanks for having me on, Claver.
Thanks, Tracy. You're awesome. Next week, okay?
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Tracy Shannon. She handles the neo-morality movement for us. She's awesome. She's an awesome mother. And for her, this is more than passion. This is a calling. You guys hang on. We got Tina coming up and Alice.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
The battle for liberty rages in every Texas community, none more so than in the nation's fourth largest city, Houston, Texas. A tyrannical mayor denies the right to vote to the citizens of the city, signs executive orders that violate the Texas Constitution and the charter of the city, and issues subpoenas for the sermons of pastors. And when the frontline leaders against the mayor's totalitarian agenda wanted a broadcast partner for their Faith, Family, and Freedom Tour, who did they request? RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
A lot of great folks that we owe a big debt of gratitude for promoting this issue from day one. I want to recognize my friend Claver and the folks over at Raging Elephants over here. He was on it from day one. Every single week this man talks about this issue. And so thank you, Claver, for never giving in, never backing down, and continuing to be that loud conservative voice.
RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
You're enjoying Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
It's great to be back, Saints and Patriots. We had some technical difficulties during the week. It wasn't my fault. Comcast's fault. They say they were improving things. We'll see. Comcast is so lousy. You can't cut the cord. You want to cut the cord. I want to cut the cord, which means cable. You know, cable television, but you sort of can't cut the cord. They've got you sort of trapped. Even if you have Amazon Fire Stick or Roku, which I'm moving to, I've got 2 cable boxes. I'm getting one. You got to have at least one cable. This is why, because some of the apps, some of the channels that you want to watch, well, you can only watch them if you have a cable service or an internet service that is provided by the cable service, like Comcast or AT&T. And AT&T is just all over the place. They're just dominating everything. And Comcast, remember, these companies are totally, utterly leftist. Comcast owns Universal Studios, owns NBC, MSDNC, all that's Comcast. They are leftist. So is AT&T. They all push the leftist agenda, and they're your cable providers. And if you want to cut the cord, like I want to cut the cord, it's virtually impossible. For instance, my challenge is, well, if I want to watch the Rocket or the Astros, got on my orange Astros jersey today, along with my Texans cap, then you have to have at least one cable box. If you want to get their streaming service, which carries the AT&T Sports Network, which has the Rockets and the Astros, well, you have to have one cable, at least one cable box in your house. And here's the other crazy thing. Now, I have a broadband account for the company here in the studio, here in my home, in the studio. But there are some apps that I cannot access through Amazon Fire TV or Roku because it's not a home internet service. It's a different IP address. So in order for me to get some of the networks via internet and cut the cord, I have to add on another internet account. I called Comcast. I said, this is crazy. I have broadband internet. I have routers all over the place. My studio is at my home. Why can't I get these other networks, these applications, these? Oh, well, you have to have, it has to be a home internet service. So I have to have two separate internet services from Comcast. Because if you get DirecTV, if you get AT, you can't get the Rockets and the Astros. Oh man, it's a catch-22. They got you trapped all over the place, all over the place. So they were supposedly updating everything with fiber this week. There seems to be no escape from the big corporate communications companies. They got everything locked down. But with it being our 5th anniversary, and Comcast has been around forever. Of course, AT&T, the original Ma Bell, been around forever. Viacom, been around forever. Fox, News Corp, been around forever. And we're just 5 years old come Sunday. 5 years old come Sunday. And I pray to the Lord Jesus on this day that one day when it comes to influencing Texas policy and culture, that Raging Elephants Radio will be just as powerful as a Viacom, just as powerful as a Comcast, just as powerful as a Turner Broadcasting or a Time Warner, or whoever owns CBS, and one of these days, the Lord willing. I want to go back to that conversation I was having with Tracy. You know, we focus on the neo-morality movement around here pretty much every week because we do sincerely believe that it's a real danger to the Texas way of life and God's blessings on our piece of real estate, on our territory, on our hood, on our society, Texas. And haven't you noticed that when it comes to science, it really is sort of an a la carte situation for the left, what they accept and what they don't accept. The example that I gave, climate change. Oh, it is absolutely settled. 5 years from now, when Raging Elephants Radio turns a decade old, Pikes Peak will be under the ocean. There will be no polar ice cap in the North Pole. Antarctica will be the size of Rhode Island because of climate change. Oh, the hurricanes are more frequent now. They're more powerful now. Have you ever thought about this? The sample size is too small. There is no way to know, for humanity to know, truly the cycles of cyclonic storms. There's no way. The samples. Do you think there were hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, before human beings walked upright. Well, which they always did, by the way, because the theory of evolution has been disproven by DNA science. It's always been a theory, the theory of evolution. It has never been consensus scientific laws such as, I don't know, water boils at sea level 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Settled. Straight up settled. There is no debate about that. Straight up consensus. Water boils 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. Not at 211. It has to be 212. I don't know what that is in Celsius or centigrade. But when it comes to climate change, quote unquote, it's settled. And there's all types of dissenters out there, you know, that makes you a flat earther. But the science is settled. But when it comes to the neo-morality movement, when it comes to an alternative lifestyle, deviant behavior, factually, science is utterly discarded. Biology, microbiology, completely disregarded, dismissed. Is it pseudoscience? Is DNA science now pseudoscience? When it comes to releasing someone on death row, two thumbs up for DNA science, me included. But when it comes to human behavior, sexual orientation, science is completely discarded. No, it's just disregarded. It's ignored. It's not relied upon. I may call an audible here and play Dr. David Pickup in a minute. A few years ago, Dr. David Pickup came in and he let it be known. There is no homosexual gene. There's no gene for pedophilia or bestiality or thievery or adultery or murder. There's no gene for that. And if any of you know the Bible, you know that the problem has nothing to do with DNA. The problem has to do with your spiritual sickness, your spiritual condition. And we all have our spiritual maladies, right? Like, just like I don't know anybody that's never had a cold. Do you know anybody as a human being that's never been sick ever in their lives? They may be, when they get ill, it may be less frequent. They may have a bit of a stronger immune system than others. But I don't know of anyone ever in my life that I've met that's never had an illness at some point in their life, or maybe living with something that they'll have for the rest of their lives. How many of us have those? You could have some ugly mole on your face or whatever, you know. You got to deal with it. Not the little sexy ones, but, you know, something that looks like a golf ball or something. Well, it's the same thing with spiritual illness. We all have it. We all have these spiritual illnesses. So it's not some self-righteous type of thing. I'm saying, well, it's a spiritual problem, and because I'm sexually oriented heterosexually, well then I must be homophobic. No, I'm Yahweh phobic, Jehovah phobic, Jesus phobic, but I'm not homophobic. So if there's no DNA, and here's the other thing. Somebody can decide that they want to cut off whatever body parts or glue on whatever body parts they want. They can take as many hormones to change their physical appearance. They can put they can put a hair weave in. They can do whatever they want to do. They're still going to remain XX or XY. No matter what. That's the determining factor. At the point of conception, it's been determined, and it will not change for as long as you live and beyond.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below-market rates with above-market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer-friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
What's up, Saints and Patriots?
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElephantRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElephantRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Numbers equal power. Spread the word about RagingElephantRadio.com.
Creature of habit. I keep hitting the wrong button. The wrong mic button. For some reason, my number one mic went out, and during one of the breaks, I had to change soundboard lines to the main mic, and so as a creature of habit, I keep hitting the wrong microphone, but what makes it sound like I'm coming in tardy. I'm usually smoother than that. Creature of habit. Go to RagingElephantRadio.com. And we have an article posted there. Drew Darby has decided that he is qualified to be Texas Speaker of the House. Hey, stop laughing. I know it's funny, but it's not funny. This is serious business. In fact, I think I'll pull that article up real quick. It's just a few words. Understand? Representative Drew Darby is throwing his name in the speaker race. Darby announced Friday he has officially filed to run for Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives. After prayerful consideration, discussing with my family, and at the urging of my House colleagues, today I filed paperwork with the Texas Ethics Commission to start a speaker campaign for the 86th legislative session. Oh, we knew it was going to heat up, and it looks like it's going to heat up. He says, Darby does, I plan to visit with every House member to discuss the priorities of their district and how the Texas House of Representatives can work together to put forward good policies to keep Texas the #1 state to live, work, and raise a family, Darby said in a statement. Darby represents Howard, Glasscock, Reagan, Sterling, Arion, Coke, Tom Green, Runnels, and Concho counties. Yeah, like I said, out there's more prairie dog than people when you got that many counties in a Texas House district. The list of awful potential speakers continues to grow. We have yet to get anyone out of the Liberty Caucus. I haven't heard anything, because if somebody did, a Sticklin, a Rinaldi, a Schaefer, a Tinderholt, if they announced that they were going to run for Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives, I'm sure social media would be all lit up. I'm sure if there's any chatter out there at all, maybe something strategic is in the works for January 2019, in which somebody from the Liberty Movement would throw their hat in the ring, because you can wait up till, almost basically before the vote to file. I think you could be nominated from the floor without filing them, I think. But Drew Darby is awful. He's absolutely 100% unequivocal rhino. Complete, utter rhino, like most of them up there. And most of the names that are being mentioned, Clarity, Zerwas is the absolute worst. The only one who could be potentially worse as a candidate for Texas Speaker of the House would be Sarah Davis. She would be completely the worst. We know that, right? But Drew Darby is right there. Phil King is right there. Travis Clarity has the audacity to think that he could be Speaker of the House. We have an article posted up there on Raging Elephants Radio. He said it way before he got Rule 44'd. This guy literally got Rule 44'd, and because of how politics works in the plutocracy of Texas, under the Pink Dome, he legitimately considers he considers himself a legitimate candidate for Texas Speaker of the House. It didn't matter that Cherokee County Rule 44'd this guy. He wants to be Texas Speaker of the House. In other words, the Texas Swamp wants to continue being the Texas Swamp. Drew Darby, here he is right here on the Raging Elephants Radio Liberty Scorecard average. In 2015, that session, his score was a 53 out of a possible 100. In 2017, it was a 52. And as I pointed out before, those scores should be lower because the card that we used this time in 2017, Texas Values Action, artificially elevated everybody's scores. It was really an outlier this time around. So Drew Darby and most of these rhinos that essentially stayed level or improved their scores 15 over 17, and if they improved their scores, it was by a percentage point, by a couple of points. They're actually worse than what their RER LSA, Liberty Scorecard average, indicates. So here you got Drew Darby, a 53, a 52. What about Clarity? Where is he? Here he is. Rule 44, a 56 in 2015, a 52 in 2017. Zerwas is just awful. Here's Phil King. Phil King has thrown his hat in the ring. He was the first one. A 77 now in 2015, and a 68, and that's elevated in 2017. As it has been pointed out, whatever a freshman, state representative or senator, legislator, that first session's score, it rarely improves from there. It usually gets worse. Here's Phil King, at one time considered to be a legit conservative in the Texas House of Representatives, was indeed one of the original 15 heroes that voted against Joe Strauss in that 2011 legislative session, voted against him for speaker, although he had no opponent. He was one of the 15 heroes, Phil King. But he has progressively, pun intended, he has progressively gotten worse. You could see if it's someone perhaps in the 80s, but that's about as low as we should be going when it comes to the Raging Elephants Radio Liberty Scorecard average, considering anyone for Texas Speaker of the House. Because how they vote and what their Liberty Scorecard average indicates truly how the agenda they would run through the Texas House of Representatives. The agenda they would run. That's going to be determined on how they have voted, who they have aligned themselves with when they were a mere backbencher. Or in the case of Zerwas, Phil King, Drew Darby here, how they've run their committees. I can't remember if Clarity is a committee chair or not. These guys are awful. And let's go to Zerwas. Why not? Since Zerwas, Dr. John Zerwas out of Katy, has said that he wants to be a 46 in 2015, a 54 in 2017, and Texas Right to Life has called John Zerwas a pro-life fraud. He's pro-genocide. Like I said, the only person worse than John Zerwas to be a candidate for Texas Speaker of the House would be Sarah Davis. And I wouldn't be surprised if she wouldn't throw her hat in the ring to be the first woman speaker. Well, I don't think there's been any other women speakers of the House. I'm not sure. I better shut up before I get banned from Twitter. This is the crop of candidates that the Texas House of Representatives, the plutocracy, is putting up right now. Zerwas, Clarity, Drew Darby, Phil King. None of these guys would be a monochrome better than Joe Strauss. I mean, minusculely, is that a word? Minusculely better than Joe Strauss. Slightly. Let me go with something rudimentary. Slightly better than Joe Strauss, perhaps. And that's not what we want. We want a drastic change in the direction of the Texas House of Representatives. At one point, we considered the Texas Senate to be the graveyard of all liberty legislation. But then, Joe Strauss was truly exposed to Texans, and the pressure caused him to resign. I'm so proud to have been part of that effort for so many years to get that guy out of Texas politics. My prayers and efforts were answered. Thank you, Jesus. But if we're going to do this, if we're going to get rid of Joe Strauss and Cook and all the rest of them, We got to make sure that we get somebody in there that, once again, is not a pawn of the plutocracy. The plutocracy strikes back with these candidates that have announced so far. Alice Linehan is coming up next. You guys don't cut the stream. We still got the TNT, the hot ticket, too.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate sermons.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver and I own a high performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
At Groupon, we believe the best things in life come to those who search.
Mountainous Tibet, one of the most beautiful places in the world. This is Timothy Hutton. The people of Tibet are in trouble. Their very culture is in jeopardy. But they still whip up an amazing fish curry. And since 200 of us bought at Groupon.com, we're each getting $30 worth of Tibetan food for just $15 at Himalayan Restaurant in Chicago.
Save the money. Unlock great deals in your town. Groupon.com.
Visit Groupon through the RER Marketplace.
Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Get to know Texas politics. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Yay! I hit the right button this time. That's a good thing. If you want to check out the live video stream, go to RagingElephantRadio.com. Scroll down right column, you can see the YouTube box. In that YouTube box, you can see my beautiful face. Wait a minute, I gotta put the camera on. Oh, there I am. I got on my Texans cap today. NFL season starts. I started last night. I didn't watch the game. I would be very interested to know who won the ratings war last night. Was it the NFL football game, or was it Donald Trump's speech? That would be interesting. Head-to-head Trump versus, who was it? Eagles, Falcons. So I got on my Texans gear. I got on my Astros gear. I don't have my F1 gear on. Alice Linehan, we love Alice. She's a Raging Elephants Radio contributor. She does a fantastic job, and she focuses on big education. I failed today because I thought today was going to be the day when I actually achieved my goal, Alice, of having 4 beautiful Texas women on, you know, sort of like outnumbered on the Fox's network, right? And it would be me, just me and these 4 beautiful Texas women, and it would be hashtag 4 lucky women, not one lucky guy. But Angela couldn't make it today, so.
Man,
I know.
I tell ya.
It's awful. One of these days, Alice, it's going to happen. I'm going to get all 4 of you on one program, and my dreams would have come true. How are you, Alice? It's been a while since we had a chance to talk.
I know. I'm well. I am knee-deep, literally, in research and understanding what's going on, and it just, you know, things keep happening that prove that we've been right all along. And I have 2 things to tell you, though. I watched Trump's speech last night. I didn't watch the NFL, but Argyle is playing La Vega tonight, so I will be watching high school football tonight.
Yeah, see, I knew it. I was going to have to ask you with the school year opening up. I mean, you are so into education, and you're one of those active mothers, one of those active Argyle mothers, and you do support our public school system. You're not trying to eliminate our public school system. You want improvements in our public school system. Government school is what I call them. But you advocate for school choice as well. You're a pro school choice. You want parents to have a multitude of choices, whether it's government school, whether it's charter school, whether it's parochial school. You're not against any of those things. You're concerned about the education of the children, getting rid of governmental influence in education, the indoctrination of our children, which covers a myriad of things, which you've been focusing on, you know, the data gathering, the Fourth Amendment violation of our children and their parents when it comes to data gathering, information gathering on our children. You just want to make sure that the right school choice is being implemented. You want to make sure that truly government, non-intervention, homeschooling, parochial school, private school is instituted. You're not saying shut down government schools, but if someone wants to escape the government school system, then all the bad tags that go along with it, the standards and requirements, get jettisoned as well. The indoctrination gets jettisoned as well. It's not that you're against the schools. You just want them to be as envisioned in liberty.
Exactly. And let me just tell you, government charter schools are government schools. The only difference between charter schools and traditional public schools are locally elected school boards. Charter schools are run by appointed boards, and those appointed boards are beholden to whoever's giving the money. And the money, it's a public-private partnership. So charter schools are government schools. So there is no choice with charter schools. There's still there's a misnomer, and there's a specific purpose behind charter schools. I want to share with you, I just received in the mail yesterday a research manual that was written back in 1994. It was written by, or it was compiled and edited by a guy named James R. Patrick. This was in 1994. And what's interesting, in the front of this book, it says, a careful study of this book will reveal 9 basic facts. And just tell me if you think these things, if we're seeing them today, and we know yesterday that, or this week, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos has been in Argentina at a G20 summit.
Yeah, but say that. Well, okay, go ahead. I want to talk about that in the second segment, but go ahead and talk about it now, because I wanted to talk about Mike first. But go ahead and talk about Betsy DeVos, because this is unconscionable. What's going on here? This is a total perversion of what federalism was intended to be, and what the Constitution says, and what the founder says about the responsibility of education. Tell people where Betsy DeVos is and what they're doing down there. This is unbelievable. Go ahead, Alice.
Well, let me read these 9. They're short. Let me just read, because it proves that what people were warning about back in 1994 has come full circle. The number one thing, a restructure of America's education system is in reality a restructure of the nation through the education system. Number 2, a proposed restructure program of the U.S. educational system closely resembles the International Global Education Program of the United Nations. Number 3, outcome-based mastery learning, a whole new initiative approach to education as proposed by the Department of Education that was implemented in Eastern Europe and is being implemented in nations around the world. Number 4, the idea of vouchers and tuition tax credits is not an idea that stems from grassroots America, but rather is an idea that originated within the Department of Education in concert with the New American School Development Corporation. The popular concept of choice in education via means of federal tax dollars will eliminate all choice, as private, parochial, and Christian and home schools are quietly merged with the public system to form a national school system complete with the national curriculum. Number 5, restructuring of the educational system will include preschool years through government agencies monitoring the family and the home. Number 6, restructure of the educational system is interlocked with the Department of Labor and will ultimately require a certificate of initial mastery to enter college and the workforce. Number 7, a close study of the restructure program reveals an interlock with a small but dedicated body of people who have consistently worked to establish a single world government. Number 8, if the restructure of the educational system is completed in totality as designed, it will ultimately result in the compromise of national sovereignty. Number 9, the Goals 2000 Educate America Act very closely resembles the Soviet education system of the 1970s. So that was written in 1994. This week, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos was in Argentina, and at the first ever G20 summit. This is her second international trip this year. U.S. Secretary Betsy DeVos is participating as a member of the U.S. delegation of the first ever G20 meeting of education ministers. After a preliminary visit to Chile, she went to Argentina to participate in meetings with other G20 education ministers. So, Mary Bryan asked, so it seems Secretary of Education DeVos enjoys the authority that is the equivalent of a minister of education in foreign countries discussing international economic development and cooperation. And if you look at and read the declaration that Betsy DeVos signed on to with the G20, it totally aligns the United States with UNESCO and UNESCO's data compliance standards.
Okay, 2 questions, Alice. Number 1, who the report that was written back in 93-94, who composed that? Who was the publisher?
James R. Patrick. I will tell you the back of it, and this is a very thick book. The researchers who that he put together, Samuel Blumenthal, Justice William Goodlove, Millie Pogna, Charlotte Iserbeet, James Danook, Russ Walton, John Stormer, and William Jasper, who's the editor of the New American. And I went to a national security briefing, and a woman who has been with Eagle Forum for many years and has attended many of the UN conferences over the years suggested that I get this manual, and she said, everything I need to know is in this manual to connect the dots with where we are today.
All right, so what stunned me when I saw this article, when you linked me to this article, was that this whole G20 thing. This is indeed, as Secretary of States would gather, or heads of states would gather, now you have these czars of education coming together. And remember, just because it's G20 doesn't necessarily mean it's our type of democracy. I mean, we're in alignment with NATO and all types of wackadoos out there. And what they're saying is it's going to be a global curriculum for this express purpose of creating a global government, a global society. We're all globalists now. And here's Betsy DeVos, supposed to be cleaning out the swamp President Trump is supposed to be doing, going to a G20 summit to further this Soviet-style education system that we've been talking about now for 2 or 3 years, Alice.
You're exactly right. And let me just tell you, this is a national security issue. These global data standards are tied into this global education industry. And for example, the Chinese companies are buying up U.S. companies that store huge amounts of personal data on American children and adults. And these global UNESCO standards, data collection standards, they talked about it at the summit. They're using Bitcoin and crypto, what do you call it?
Cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, cryptocurrencies. Sorry, that term just left my head. Cryptocurrencies. This was a big part of this summit that they were talking about, the G20 summit. And just so people know, the Organization of Islamic Corporation, the OIC, is the largest voting bloc in the United Nations and is comprised of all Islamic states on the planet. There's 56 states plus Palestine, which are considered an equal. The OIC has direct ties to the Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas.
Well, I want people...
This is serious.
Yeah, it is serious, but even... even the idea, I want people to understand that at the founding of the nation, the federal government, the national government, which I call it now, was supposed to have powers and rights and such. Well, there are enumerated powers in the Constitution, and education is not mentioned. It was supposed to be considered and governed at the local level. And this is a microcosm. Education is a microcosm of what's wrong with the nation generally. It's completely upside down. It's operating in the antithesis of its founding, to the point now where you're having a G20 summit on education. So somebody in the Philippines or somebody in South Korea is going to have a dictate over what a child in Marshall, Texas is going to learn.
Exactly. That's what the Common Core federal standards, the Common Core standards. In Texas, we have the college and career ready standards that are aligned with the Common Core standards. The Common Core standards are aligned with UNESCO's global standards.
And our government is willingly implementing this, knowing that this was never supposed to be intended. Never supposed to be intended. So the sovereignty of individual education decisions for Texans primarily, that's what we focus on here, it's virtually non-existent. And those that we have elected with R's behind their names, as you have illuminated to us, revealed to us over and over again, are witting or unwitting participants in this sovereignty evaporation, this capitulation to the global curriculum. Correct, Alice? And I got about 30 seconds. I got to take a break.
Completely correct. And that's a good transition point for when we get back to talk about Mike Morath and what the Commissioner of Education has been doing and the data collection that has for these no-bid contracts where Texas student data is being handed over to third parties.
Yeah, you think Facebook is bad. You think Google is bad. You think potentially Twitter is bad when it comes to data sharing on these platforms. Your children are an absolute open book, and they're being assailed in their classrooms through this digital learning platform. The Fourth Amendment violations are rampant. Yeah. It's a matter of course. It's standard operating procedure, and your children are being monetized. If you have a child in government school, pretty much any type of school, I guess, your child is being monetized. We'll segue over to what's happening in Texas on this front with Alice Linehan in just a moment. Don't cut the stream. Raging Elephants Radio. You're going to hear something different here than anywhere else. Want to hear about this on Fox even. Raging Elephants Radio. If you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show, congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down. See the share icon? Hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas Patriots. Give a testimony in 100 and...
Information, communication, action. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
I'm telling you right now, if you have not downloaded the Raging Elephants Radio app as of yet, you want to do that because it's going to be financially advantageous to you very, very soon. Working on some stuff. It's going to be fabulous. If you haven't downloaded the Raging Elephants Radio app, I'm telling you right now, you are not going to know what you're missing. Alice, you got to get everybody to download the RER app. You got to do that.
I will do that. I will push it.
Everybody, Alice, everybody. Not just the Saints and Patriots, not just the Saints and Patriots that you know up there in the DFW area, but the ones who potentially could be Saints and Patriots. Raging Elephants Radio may actually get them over the hump.
That's right, because you cover the real stories, not the shiny lights.
Well, the thing I like about us, Alice, is that if anyone wants to hear something different, this is the place to come. Right?
That's right.
Whatever the main shiny object, whatever the disco ball is for the national media, because if CNN is talking about it, if NBC is talking about it, then Fox is talking about it too. I mean, they all cross paths. I mean, they may be looking at the stories from a different perspective, but they're covering the same stuff. If you want something different, something that truly has an impact upon your life and isn't shiny disco ball, this is the place, your Texas network. You agree, right? Right, Alice?
I wholeheartedly agree.
Speaking of Texas, Mike Morath, Alice, you're on him again. Mike Morath, the guy that's in charge of your child's education here in Texas, and he's no good. Let's just put it that way. If you hear the name Mike Morath in Texas education, you should, the cockles, the hair on the back of your neck should stand up.
Alice has been instrumental in letting us know how dangerous this guy is. He's the Betsy DeVos of Texas, if not worse, right, Alice?
Definitely. He was specifically put in his position to implement this plan, this larger global vision. Those that want to profit off of our children's private data. He was specifically put in that position. Now, I am not going to let our Texas legislators, I never do, the lieutenant governor and the governor off the hook for passing laws that actually empower the Commissioner of Education, Mike Morath. Basically, the Texas State Board of Education, who are our locally elected State Board of Education, the SBOE has completely been neutered. And the power has been put in the hands of the unelected Commissioner of Education, Mike Morath. He has a huge amount of power.
SBOE, State Board of Education, which would basically be the state's school board, is basically what it was. And it was elected by the people, regionally, like appellate court judges or like state senators. There are SBOE districts, very much like a school district, and they did will a lot of power because they would pick the textbooks and make curriculum decisions and the like. And as you just said, the SBOE, State Board of Education, has been essentially neutered, and nothing that they could do about it. The legislature, which has oversight and authority over them, basically said, we're taking the power out of your hands.
Exactly. And that has been going on. He was instrumental and put it into the hands of the Commissioner of Education. So just like the warnings were coming back in the 90s in the book that I talked about earlier, this has been implemented over time. And that's I remember having a conversation about one of Donna Campbell's school choice bills, and everybody was saying, oh, school choice, we've got to pass it. And I said, wait a minute, actually read what the bill says, not just the idea of school choice, actually read what the bill says. And what these bills that they're passing say is that they're going to pass this bill that everyone thinks is a good idea, but in the fine print, they give all the power for writing the rules and regulations of that law into the hands of the unelected Commissioner of Education. He's got the power to implement that law. And that's the problem. We are no longer governed by law. We are now governed by rules and regulations from unelected bureaucrats.
He's like an education president, basically.
Yes.
I mean, is it equivalent to, let's say, on a national government letter, the EPA administrator? Is it the same, or is it even more powerful than that?
Well, it's even more powerful than that in that it's our children, and frankly, it's not just our children. It's every American citizen from preschool through the workforce. When they passed Every Student Succeeds Act, they mean every student from preschool through the workforce. And so they are, what Mike Morath, what he's getting in trouble for, and what I believe he needs to be removed from office for, is basically there was an audit done by the state auditor of this multi-million-dollar contract that his team executed, that basically hands special ed students private data over to this third-party contractor. And what the audit basically says is that the Texas Education Agency did not follow the law. They did not follow the protocol and being able to look at the contracts of these third parties and make sure that they were following the non-disclosure agreements related to student data as required by the contract. So they gave this no-bid contract to this company called SpedX. And basically the SpedX was collecting private psychological data on special ed students and then using another contractor, and they were analyzing this data. And so they give a no-bid contract, and then they're handing over all this private data without consent, by the way. Without consent. The TEA was basically sending school districts letters or emails saying that basically if you hand over this private data, and I have to say, this came out this week. And here we have school districts that Mike Morath is taking over for being an F rating. We've got this new A through F rating system, which, by the way, came from Jeb Bush in Florida, which should give people pause. But so we're allowing the TEA to take over school districts with locally elected school boards and bring in these public-private partnerships, these charter programs, who have access to all of this data. Why are we not holding Mike Morath accountable and giving him an F rating? The state auditor obviously saw huge flaws in the processes and the ability for the TEA to secure private data and keep it private. This is a huge problem. And if Governor Abbott and Dan Patrick don't address this, and their mantra is school choice, school choice, school choice, I can tell you, if you want a blue wave to follow, to sweep across Texas, that's what will do it. That is what will do it.
It just takes a few years. All it takes is a few years when those children that have been indoctrinated become of voting age, because their attitudes, values, beliefs, and behaviors have been shaped in the model of a globalist, of a leftist, of a neo-moralist, and so that will have an impact at the ballot box. So no matter what you've taught them as children or what the Constitution says, the purest laboratory of indoctrination, the classroom, you'd be powerless. It's like when you send your child off, you think you have taught them well, great values, responsible and whole 9 yards, and they go off to college and they come home after their first semester break, and you don't recognize the child anymore. I mean, that type of thing. Now it's happening preschool all the way through the workforce, and that's going to have an impact on how they cast votes in the future when they're eligible to vote. And in some locations, they want them to vote as early as high school. And it explains how after the Parkland shooting, we talked about this, Alice, the children came out that became the spokespeople of the student body, and they were able to dispute the gun control pablum, the leftist talking points and mantra without any prompting. It was as if it had already been drilled into them that their culture indeed had already had an impact on how they thought without giving any thought to the impact of the policies that they were advocating for. Their attitudes, values, beliefs, and behaviors were being played out, and that tragedy was the trigger, no pun intended, to expose it to everyone. They were able to come to the microphones moments after that tragedy and absolutely recite the dogma, the manifesto of the left when it comes to gun control. Well, and the Second Amendment and the NRA and the whole 9 yards. They know who all the boogeymen, the players are. Go after Marco Rubio and whoever else they wanted to go after. They needed no prompting to go out and do the rallies and the protest and the demonstrations that they conducted with the financial funding from the left and the anti-Second Amendment lobby and funders. They needed no prompting. They needed no teaching. They needed no orientation. They needed no briefing. They had been infused with this ideology since preschool out of Florida, Jeb Bush country. And this is the end result. This is how I see it, Alice. I only got about 90 seconds left.
It's going to get worse because what's coming in are these AI, artificial intelligence, these programs. When you send your kid off to school and they are using computer programs that are collecting data to modify the beliefs, benchmarking and collecting data to nudge and prime students to be proactive, that's what the result is, exactly what you described. They will be using the computer programs to modify, just like Facebook does, the beliefs and behaviors of the next generation of American children.
And this is why we have Alice on every week, because not enough people know anything about this. There should be uproar. There should be outrage over this. Because just like you said, Alice, if legislators, parents, and citizens like myself, I mean, who is not a parent, care about such issues as transgendered bathrooms and the like for pre-K, then they should be extremely concerned about how the children are being violated digitally, mentally, and their attitudes, values, beliefs, and behaviors, and it's being done in the classroom, and you send them off 8 hours a day to the government. Thanks a lot, Alice.
That's it. Thank you. Have a great week.
Talk to you next week. Bye-bye. It's a Friday, which means it's time for the TNT, the TMB, the hot ticket. Tina, Moody, Brian, don't cut the stream or you're going to miss something real good.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer-friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com. Will advertising on Raging Elephants Radio help your business?
Hello, my name is Galen Beatty at Beatty AC and Heating. I advertise on RagingElephantRadio.com, and I'd urge you to do the same. Small and large business owners, if you want a really affordable way to get your name, products, and services to a large audience of consumers, I'd advertise on RER.
Ask about our double value package. You'll love it. Easy, affordable, effective. Email RERads@RagingElephantRadio.com. That's RERADS@RagingElephantRadio.com. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product. This is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing. No one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and a choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com. What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElephantsRadio.com. What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElephantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElephantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElephantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Find Raging Elephants Radio on Twitter at RE Radio Texas.
Tina!
Flavor!
Flavor,
happy early birthday to you.
Well, thank you, Tina. You know, and everybody, that's how we actually greet each other via text. Claver, Tina. I have to do all the A's and the E's and the R's, and I got to do all the. I replace the I with E's. I have like 10.
That's right.
10 E's, 10 N's, and 5 A's. Hey, Tina.
That's exactly.
I missed you, my dear lady. How are you?
I know. I've missed you too. I am wonderful, Claver. Just ready for the weekend.
Did you? Okay, so I'm taking a snap poll. So did you watch the Trump speech last night or NFL football?
I watched the Trump speech and then I would glance back and forth to the football, but I was kind of back and forth.
You are a true Texas woman, and you're being completely and totally honest about it. The fact of the matter is, you've got football, well, all kind of sports, running through your veins. Yep. And the ability for you not to take a peek at a football game on television is basically it's sort of
impossible.
Like not breathing, basically.
Yeah, it would be like going into Nordstrom's and not looking at shoes.
Not buying. What do you mean look?
For sure. Yes, for sure.
Look.
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
This is not fake news. Let's be accurate here. You cannot walk into Nordstrom's. Forget looking. You got to buy something.
Well, that's 100% correct. Yes, I always seem to come out of there with a pair of shoes. Yes, the goal is to get some on sale. So, but yes, but so I was back and forth.
Well, if you're gonna drive to Dallas and walk into Nordstrom's, you have to look at it sort of like a souvenir.
Yeah, exactly. You got to come out with something, and most definitely a pair of shoes.
I forgot to ask you this. On your vacation, when you went to Italy and Greece and everything, did you did you get a new handbag? Did you get a new purse? Anything like that?
Of course. I got a new purse.
How stupid of me. Of course. What did you take, Claver?
You silly thing. I mean, I'm in Italy, for crying out loud. But listen, and the shocking thing is, and I know many of my girlfriends could not believe it, and even Timbo could not believe it, I did not come back with one pair of shoes. I did not purchase a pair of shoes. I purchased a purse and then a awesome leather jacket that just fit like a piece. So with a matching handbag. Yeah. So I didn't find any shoes on sale, Claver. I can get Italian shoes over here in the great state of Texas, and I can get them on sale. So, but anyway, of course I came back with a handbag. What a silly question.
Tina Mooney Bryan, Raging Elephants radio contributor for Pop Culture. Okay, why are nuns not happy with Donald Trump? Why? I didn't hear anything about this. I don't understand this. I mean, why are nuns against Donald Trump? I mean, Little Sisters of the Poor. I mean, who's on the side of the Little Sisters of the Poor? Who's on the side of the church and religious liberty and the whole 9 yards?
Well, you know how the left has just, they have slowly creeped into every single area of our lives and the lives of, okay. So now the nuns, okay, this actually started, this group, they are referred to as Nuns on a Bus, okay? And this whole organization or this whole group of nuns actually started back in 2012 with Sister Simone Campbell as the head of the group, the head nun, we'll say. And they stand for, they're fighting for social justice and income equality, okay? And they are very upset with Trump and the tax cuts because the tax cuts are only helping the rich, the real rich like him, and they are hurting the poor. So what they are doing is they are going to 21 states and they're going to end up right in front of his resort in Florida, and they are going to have a big fiesta party. That's what they're planning to do. Now, if that really, happens or not. Yeah, a fiesta. Yes, a fiesta. The nuns are going to be dancing around with the little, what do you call those things? If they shake and make noise and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I just
maracas and tambourines.
Yeah.
They're gonna have marachis, or are they gonna be doing the Mexican hat dance? They're gonna be doing that too, Tina?
They could, maybe they'll throw one of their nun things on the ground and dance around that. I'm really not sure, Claver. But yes, they are very upset with Trump because they feel like his tax cuts are hurting everything that they stand for.
Yeah,
now,
why should we be surprised, Tina? Right? I mean, the Pope is a socialist. He's a South American leftist Argentina socialist. That's what he is. Yep. I mean, we identified that early, very early. Yeah. And so the fact that the entire leftist communist agenda, quote unquote, labeled social justice would filter down to a clatch of nuns shouldn't be surprising. It's the leadership of the Pope. It's directly out of the Holy See, directly out of the Vatican. This guy, Pope Francis, is a long way from JP2, John Paul II, which a lot of people forget when it comes to the defeat of the Soviet Union, the busting down of the Berlin Wall, the melting down of the Iron Curtain. They forget that Pope John Paul II was one of those allies of Reagan and Thatcher to get it done. And then George Bush the Elder to get that done. John Paul II was indeed a liberator and was a political force and used the power of the church, which has been used over the centuries, to get something actually good done, to free people, to expand liberty. This guy, Pope Francis, he's bad news. I don't care if he's driving around in a smart car. If he's advocating for open borders, if he's advocating for governmental expansion in the name of climate change, if he's advocating and his underlings, these nuns, are advocating for quote-unquote social justice, he's bad news, and it's bad news for the church. We don't even have to mention the priest scandal and his apparent role, and people are actually calling for his resignation. This guy's just bad news politically and economically. He's a leftist socialist. Tina, go ahead.
Yes, I agree. And here's another thing, Claver, is that when this group started, in 2012, they had a little dust up, with the Vatican, because the Vatican had come out warning about the women's movement, or the radical women's movement, as they referred to it. And they were warning, their other Catholics that this was happening. Well, I guess they just kind of skipped over, Sister Campbell and her little minion nuns with her that were, that they're all for. They were for the Affordable Care Act, which we all know is for what? Abortion. Which to me, one of the big major, things of the Catholic Church is they have always been against abortion up until, I guess, now. I guess they just kind of...
It's causing all types of civil war, even right here in Texas, Tina, because I reported on this, where during the runoff election, Texas primary runoff election, Texas Right to Life is a Catholic-led organization. The Grahams are devout Catholics, and many of their hierarchy at Texas Right to Life are Catholics. The first event I ever went to at a private home for Texas Right to Life, there were Catholic priests and all over the place in there. They're devout Catholics, and in that election, they started taking issues with the Texas Catholic Bishops' Conference because of some of these positions that they are espousing that are following the current doctrine and political ideology of the Vatican and Pope Francis right now. And so Texas Right to Life has been adamantly fighting the Texas Catholic Bishops' Conference because they're following the line of the Vatican. Open borders, ironically, some positions that are inconsistent with a pro-life agenda and economic issues, and Texas gun control and Texas Right to Life pointed these things out, that although they are a single issues oriented organization, pro-life, whether it be the right to be born or the right into life rights, they still find themselves chipping in on other issues, because if you're pro-life, you're going to be pro-Second Amendment, you're going to be pro-religious liberty, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so although Texas Right to Life is dedicated to the sanctity of life as ordained and ordered by God, well, they will, give their 2 cents on other issues, and they went after the Catholic bishops because this socialist leftist ideology has filtered down into the parishes, Tina.
Exactly. And, here's another thing, Claver. They are all worried about all of this. They want the open border thing, right? They want the immigration. They just want them to come through. And to me, they hide under the, we just want to help, the poor people that are trying to get away from the things going on in their countries and, this kind of thing. But to me, it's all about the money. It's about the money. Those Catholic charities own, or the Catholic Church itself as a whole, they own property. They own buildings where I'm sure they house immigrants. It's about the money. Follow the money. And the money is what is causing a lot. They want that money coming in where they are housing immigrants, where they're feeding immigrants. They're getting that money from who? The federal government. From what? The federal government gets their money from where? The taxpayers.
Yeah, but the offering plate gets larger too, right?
Well, sure.
Because when they're making $2 an hour, $2 a day in Honduras versus $12 an hour here in the United States, and they maintain their Catholicism and their attachment to the Catholic Church, although they invade Texas, then that's supposed to mean more money for the Catholic Church here. The Catholic Church is playing geopolitics economically. They would prefer their parishioners to flood into the United States out of the Central American Triangle countries because it means more money for them. It strengthens a waning Catholic Church in the United States. The Catholic Church is dominating the Latin American countries. Here in the United States, their pews continue to empty out because of scandal, because of improper biblical teaching, et cetera, et cetera. This theocracy from the Vatican many of the issues that launched the protest of Martin Luther when he nailed his theses on the door of the church, hey, they still exist, do they not, Tina?
That's exactly right. And again, it's following the money. You hit the nail on the head. When they make more money over here than they do in other countries, and we know that most Hispanics they're Catholic. You know, that's where that they worship. So when they make more money, you're right, the church gets more money, and they really don't care. Then they don't really stand by what the whole premise of the church is and what Catholics really believe, the sanctity of life. It all comes down to money. When this woman, I mean, she spoke at the DNC, the convention in 2012. I mean, forget about being a nun. She is a full head-on political figure. And her other little nuns riding with her on the bus are the same way. And it really is disturbing and disgusting, Claver, that this is where we are in this time, you know, and with the Catholic Church, all of the pedophilia and the sick things that are going on that they've covered up and been covering up and still trying to cover up, albeit it's been exposed, and I think, you know, very well. That's why they are dwindling here in Texas and the United States, because people are coming out and they're seeing it and calling it what it is. It's so much garbage, and I mean, it's terrible, Claver. It really is. And I feel bad for Catholics that really want to do the right thing, or, you know, really feel strong in their faith. That this is the leadership. When you got nuns, I taught nuns taught school, and nuns, you know, taught, you know, the good things, character, good character.
Worked in the hospitals where, you know, underprivileged and the likes, right? I mean, you know, the Mother Teresa type of things. You know, the EWTN network, the Catholic television network, was actually started by a nun. She since passed away. I forgot her name, but she was awesome. I watch EWTN. I've watched EWTN from time to time.
I've watched some of it too.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was started by a nun. But here they are marching against tax breaks, marching for more governmental involvement, which is the antithesis of what the Bible teaches as far as the responsibility of the church, that these social issues, social programs should be solved there, not in the halls of parliaments and congresses. And they're working against that. It doesn't make any sense, Tina. I got about 30 seconds, my dear.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me, Claver. And, you know, I hope that more upstanding Catholics continue to fight against this very thing, because it is all, the leadership is turned into nothing but political heads. That's all they are. It's a nightmare.
I'm not saying that you get an A+ for this particular story, Tina, because you're supposed to be bringing us like wacky stuff that make us laugh and uplift us. And now we're going into the weekend and we're like, what a downer.
I know. I'm sorry, Claver, but sometimes you just got to put it out there. You know, it kind of bugged me, kind of bothered me. So I'm bummed. So I guess y'all are just going to have to be bummed with me.
Oh, you bummed me out on my birthday, Tina. My goodness.
I'm sorry, Claver. But you know you got to love me anyway.
Yeah, I do. That's the problem. All right, Tina. Goodbye.
All right, Claver. Goodbye, Claver, and happy birthday.
Thanks, Tina. All right, guys, I'm out of here. It was a fun program. Yeah, my birthday is on Sunday, but more importantly, it's the 5th anniversary of Raging Elephants Radio's existence. We got a long way to go. I don't have to tell you that. But we are a work in progress. Our future is bright. I am as optimistic as ever. I am tired as one sick puppy, but the future is bright and I'm optimistic. I will. I'm declaring it before God and humanity. I will become a Texas media mogul and have fun doing it and destroy the plutocracy in the process. Rhino hunting. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome and beyond call me the purifier, and I like it. From H-Town, may the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the future independent, sovereign Republic of Texas. Doc Green is up next.